Hello everyone, here we are back for another Bodyhood Brawl League Season 3 game, the 6th one from Qualifier League 2, and we're gonna see the entering into the tournament of Hull Poker and Abbadon. Playing the rivals in the ruins here, Noble Squatter, both of them have crushed their will, so it's virtually going to be impossible for them, even though the wagons are relatively close to one another. See, the rating is virtually the same here. Abbadon's team is called Lords of Change. Hull Poker is called the Bloodborne. It's Tzinch versus Korn here. And both of them playing as the Cult of Possessed, as said. I think this is going to be a really interesting game. Both of them are Swedish. Both of them are expected to go really far in the tournament here. Or at the very least in the Qualifier League 2. Both of them are expected to be at least top 4 going into the upper division here and into the playoffs later on. It's good that it still does speak in English, despite both of them being Swedish here. Seems like Abbadon got the southmost position here to start, and that means that Hull Poker is at the very top. Hull Poker is probably a little bit favored here, but as this is a very early game, it's very RNG dependent, and the fortune could really sway in Abbadon's favor. Who knows? Usually ends up as a fight right where the cursor were right a few moments ago, between the two big houses. Gonna wait for the deployment here of one of Hull Poker's units. It's nice having entered the tournament at last for these two. And even though this game is probably not going to be too interesting, it's going to be interesting because it's going to decide where they're going to end up in the league position and whatever kind of reward whoever wins here gets. But for the Cult of Possessed players, the second game is going to be the most critical one that they are going to get, because that's when their mutant gets their first mutation. So for the second game, we're going to see these two players. They're going to have the mutation fixed out already and see if they are cursed with the faceless mutation, or if they are blessed with, for example, Cloud Feet. Cult of Possessed didn't really do too well in Bodyhood Brawl League Season 2, but I think it's a great warband. It's probably the second best warband there is in this specific format. It has been changed a little bit, and as long as you can be a little bit lucky with the mutations and get at least something that's doable, it should be very manageable here. And I think that as long as you try and build your heroes as dual wielding offensive powerhouses, you should be alright no matter what you get. The 319s here, probably 3 heavy armor Dark Souls. Hull Poker's gone down with the heavy armor, and that might be a drawback here, considering that there is a Brethren on Abbadon's team. If there is going to be a big melee combat here, Hull Poker has advantage, but if Abbadon can chip away and do a little bit of damage here and there and force Hull Poker to come to him with his 4 movement, that will be an advantage to him. And Abbadon does recognize that. He has some heavy armor indeed. Can easily see that coming up here. Gonna also see what kind of equipment they have chosen for the mutants. I think it would be actually pretty smart of them if they both started out with a bow. Remember that, he doesn't do that. Remember that the mutant, no matter if you want to make him an archer or not, you probably shouldn't, but at the very least he starts with 5 ballistic skill. So he's a better archer at the start than he is as a melee unit. So he could just start out with a bow and then switch, come the melee fight. Really should have gone for a two-handed weapon here, but maybe Abbadon didn't have too much of a choice. Fights usually happening on the other side of this house here. You see this Magister does a lot of damage. There's a little secret here. I'm not sure I should actually tell you guys, but I think I will anyway because I'm a sneaky fellow. And that is that Abbadon was lucky in his first PV and actually got a blue greatsword. And that's the blue greatsword that we see here. So he does not have a white one. So that one does a lot of damage. 47 to 58. So that's gonna really hurt. That's if he hits both of those attacks, he could very well kill something. And look at the critical hit chance here as well, 16%. So that's really deadly in Abbadon's favor. Should probably have used that on the mutant instead, but here we are. Holpoker, meanwhile, also has gotten some blue stuff. At the very least 2 blue items that he can leverage to his advantage. And that is a blue cloth and a blue light armor for his Magister and Hero respectively. And that's also really good. It makes his mutant being almost like he's wearing heavy armor. If he has a helmet on, it should be 25% armor, and that's quite big. So you can see that Holpoker's reasoning here, going with the heavy armor, could be a really good choice. He should have around 30% armor on the Dark Souls, which this early on with virtually no armor penetration whatsoever is going to be pretty much like having 30% more wounds. So that could really end up in Holpoker's favor in a melee slog. In the top left corner here we do see that Abbadon has managed to get 4 more morale than Holpoker. It's not going to be too influential here, but it bears to repeat over and over again until everyone knows that at the level 0 games that we see here, the Magister is worth 16 morale points, the Hero of the Mutant is worth 12, and the Dark Souls and Brethren, the Henchmen, that is, are worth exactly 9 points. Really no armor here, doesn't seem to have gotten any helmet either for any of Abbadon's units. Gonna make a slight skip forward, and we see one of the units revealed here, a Dark Soul moving in. At the very least, Abbadon is not taking his idol with him. I think that's a wise decision. Too often players take their idols with them and then they lose the character and then they get a massive morale penalty and they might lose the game because of that. Wonder where Holpoker went with that movement for Dark Soul. He wants to get as close as possible while still remaining in cover somehow. And it could be a really brutal game because if you look at the initiative ladder here, it's going to be all of Holpoker's units moving it all in a row, and then Abbadon's units moving all in a row. See the first Dark Soul, if he hovers around on the map, he could see where he is right now. It's probably slightly to his left or to the right by the fence. Gonna be interesting to follow these heroes' progress. Caterpillar. One of the advantages of this format is that you're really not going to lose your units. So we're going to see the same units being played for Abbadon and Holpoker throughout the entire tournament. No reserves, as reserves are rather pointless. You don't actually want to spread out the XP. You want to pull it together on the same characters. So building this warband is going to be a nice progression. That's why the mutations are going to be so important, seeing what they can find out. And No disrespect here to Classic Charlie or, by the way, Ranter or the other two Cult of Possessed players, but these two players are probably, are going to be the two Cult of the Possessed players that will be the most dangerous, and it's going to be nice to see what they can come up with build-wise as they go along. Probably lots of attracting lures being used. Remember that the leadership of their opponents will be very low. It's a very powerful skill. Might also see some blood offerings and the usual stuff. I would say that the Cult of Possessed are probably the second best warband there is in this format, and I'm saying that because they have some excellent Lads Got Talent choices here, either the Brethren or the Dark Soul, but it's probably going to be the Dark Soul. And the Cult of Possessed are one of those warbands where it's very advantageous, most likely, to pick up two Lads Got Talents, unless you really, really want a Doomweaver or a Globadier, which you could do, but two Lads Got Talent Dark Souls with heavy armor could be very difficult to stop as well. They will be exactly like Templars, just a bit scarier. Appears that one of the Dark Souls is in full sight. Not really moving much here, Abbadon. I probably wants to get up to a very high location here. You could do that, moving up the stairs. Remember that you do get a plus 10% hit chance if you are on a higher ground. And this could be a good... that's not a... Can you round the stairs here? Yes, you can. Could even go up to the top level. No windows. Well, it is a decent ambush spot. Nice name as well, Little Thorn. It's gonna be feeling exactly like that coming up against this Brethren. And that triggered on overhead map as well. Are you sure that you actually want to go in there? That could be where Hole Poker went. Alright, so he's over there. Even the Magister makes a decent archer early on. Could use one of them. They're not that bad. I mean, they also start with 5 ballistic skills, same as their weapon skill. So they're sort of geared towards that. I think it's probably a wiser decision by Holpock to go for the 3 Dark Souls early on. Compared to the 2 Dark Souls and the Brethren, just because the starting hero and the starting leader can both use ranged weapons relatively well, at least compared to the Brethren himself. I think the Brethren starts with... the Brethren also starts with 5 ballistic skill. But you have the option to get 2 shots off. And if you just do that, 2 shots, and then you switch, which you can all do in a single round, and you have your 5 pills for the next round with a melee weapon. Given Hole Poker's location here, I wouldn't be too surprised if he's trying to go down by the buildings here to the left and sneaking his way forward towards this building. And Abbadon is going to remain where he is. This could actually sort of turn into a race to get at each other's idol. It is possible. Imagine if Abbadon moves forward a little bit and Holpoker goes past him. See if Abbadon uses the overhead map a little bit more. If we could see if Holpoker's icon is actually taken or not. You will see that by seeing at their on their particular wagon. You will see a little idol being highlighted in yellow if it is still there. If it's not there, you won't see anything highlighted in yellow. Yeah, he might actually go for that. It's getting closer and closer. This could also trigger an attack as well. It's being really brave here. If he goes into on the right side here of the wall, he's gonna see if there is anyone here. There's not. He's getting really close towards the wagon then. Careful to enter into dodge stance. Yeah, he is sneaking down here. If he's moving this much forward, yeah, he's being cautious here, making sure that he cannot be reached. Alright, this seems to have gotten the better of it. Running out of time. It's a bit of a conundrum for Holpoker. He wants Abbadon to attack into him, but he also doesn't want to stay in the open to be shot at. Imagine if he had a bow here together with the blue greatsword. Gonna enter into a dodge stance. Seen a few of these games before. As the very first game that some players have played, they are very cautious. The first game means quite a bit, especially when they are facing off as against someone that they know they're gonna compete on for the top spots in their respective leagues. We had that with Clyde against Crowley as well. A game that took quite a bit of time. I think it's a mistake to stay in the house though. I mean, you can get a good vantage point, but you're gonna be really static if you want to stay here. Hoping to catch something. Well, it is a very good vantage point. You could just jump down here though. Just to be a little bit closer to the team in case they decide that moving forward is the right course of action. Ambushes can be very deadly early on. Remember that they do 50% more damage of the base weapon, which is not super high. I mean, but it's not that bad either. For example, a normal great axe that's white does around 39 damage, so that's about 20 damage extra from the ambush. It would not be in Holpoker's interest, I feel, to swap the idols here. Maybe he has something in mind, though. Gonna skip ahead a little bit. Alright, we see someone moving, so let's not do that. See a Dark Soul moving there. Far, far, far out of reach for the brethren. So I think that Abbadon is doing the right choice. If he just could go towards the wall and bunker up there and edge close towards the wagon, he's going to get at Holpoker's wagon. And if Holpoker reacts, then it's great to have a fight happening right there, because he could easily reach that wagon with the Magister of the Mutant and give Holpoker minus 16 morals whenever it's needed. Losing 60 morale here is going to be massive for these two players. It seems that Holpoker is turning around. I think so, at least. Abbadon is not really using the overhead map to check. Here we go. Seems to be a bit undecided here about what he wants to do. He's coming out into the center here. Exactly where the Brethren Archer wants him to be. See if he has picked up a bow here. He can do a little bit of skirmishing damage to Abbadon's warband. And if you saw on the top right screen there, you should have noticed that Holpoker has not picked up his idol, so it's still available. Should probably start moving towards that wagon then. Oh, I can switch weapons, but there's... Oh, he does have a bow available to him. That is all well and good. Overwatches can be really powerful early on, since you start with one blue pill less than what you end up with at the very late game, and you get the last blue pill for every single character, no matter who it is. An impressive, a leader, a hero. You get the last blue pill at level 5. So at the beginning here, the henchman will only have 5 blue pills. 5 blue pills with 4 movement is not going to carry you long with that heavy armor. So having an Overwatch that cancel out at least 1 blue pill is going to be really great. Let's switch back though. Yeah, Holpoker might have made a tactical error here. Thing is, if his idol is taken, he's gonna lose 16 morale, and that is such a big thing, because then he will only have 7 morale left, and it means any unit that goes down for Holpoker is gonna cause a route test to be checked. But the same is not true for Abbadon. Same is not true for Abbadon. He can afford to lose 1 unit and still be 1 morale ahead without losing, without having a route test forced upon him. And either way, it seems Abbadon is way closer to Holpoker's wagon than Holpoker is to Abbadon's wagon. So we could see some... It's not that difficult to kill one unit, even with heavy armor. So we might see the idol here playing a very big part of the outcome of this game. And Abbadon really wants to win, and I think he has the advantage right now. Yeah, should have jumped down with that unit before. Can't really be reached from there. He doesn't want to be too isolated either, but that's a decent choice. A decent choice. Yeah, I mean, I hoped we would get a pot shot with the mutant, but you don't have the bow out, so that's gonna be difficult. Lost half his time here. He's probably just going to move behind the wall anyway. We see a mutant here with a great axe. Checking out the surroundings. Seeing the Brethren Archer here in an overwatch. Well, what is he going to do about it? He knows that the Brethren doesn't have too great range, so he doesn't have to actually go out here. But he should realize that his wagon is under threat. And either he needs to do something about it, or he goes and picks up Abbadon's idol and lives with the difference. But then he's going to have to kill the Magister or the Mutant to cause a route test instead of just a normal henchman, and Abbadon can kill a henchman to cause a route test. Remember that the Magisters, they have decent leadership, like all starting leaders. They should have around 8. So that's 32% chance to succeed at a route test. Yeah, Holpoker might feel that he have moved too far away from the wagon. It can't be helped right now. Best course of action is actually going to be to get to Abbadon's wagon. Slowly but surely. He will get there well before Abbadon can come and protect it. It would be foolish to go out here right now. He only needs to get one of the fast units down there, like the Mutant or the Magister, to pick up the idol of Abbadon, while the Dark Souls is just zoning everything else out. And for Abbadon, it's going to be about trying to force a fight after capturing this idol before Holpoker could get down there, because then he has a decisive advantage and only needs to kill a single unit to force the round test. We have repeated that a lot of times now. So hopefully it's stuck with you viewers. What is Hole Poker thinking?
A new round has started.
Yeah, we're gonna see the idol picked up here. Yeah, I don't see a trap. Sword and Axe allows him a parry stance instead of the dodge stance if he wants that. I don't know what Abbadon is doing right now. Just get out there if you want to go out. He's gonna get +3 movement for this character. That's why he could have moved his entire warband towards trying to confront Hole Poker and then having this unit catch up easily within one turn. Doesn't seem like Hole Poker has any ranged weapons. That is a massive blow. Alright, Abbadon, you got what you wanted, you got the idol. What's next? What do you think? Oh wow, he can actually force a confrontation here. That is really... Oh, he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it, is he? Yeah. It's not a bad ambush spot, but it's one of those spots where people are trying to edge past the corner, causing a desync. This is probably the Magister of Hole Poker being delayed. So the Brethren gets to do a little bit of damage at last, little Thorn, and you start to wonder why Hole Poker stepped up there. That's just further bringing Abbadon into the lead. What will he do now? 13 seconds left. Did he lose many of his blue pills there? See if he can move back. Otherwise he's in... Oh, no. You don't do a delay there. You're gonna be shot at. You're gonna get an aim. You're gonna get an aim at you. That was really unfortunate. So even more damage coming in here on the Magister of Hole Poker. Yeah, let's see if he managed to score a critical hit. 10% chance, did not. But still, 16 more damage. Oh, he didn't use a delay. He just ended his turn. He didn't have much else to do. No, he did. No, he did use a delay. He did use a delay. Yeah, I'm sorry. But why? He needs to kill quite a few units here. He seems to be a little bit lost, Hole Poker. Not really sure what to do about this situation. He was trying to be too cautious, and then he lost sight of what's important here, the idol. And Abbadon is trying to play to his strength. He doesn't want to make a mistake here, even though he can lose more units. You can see that that's a from that position, but this character here, Scarlet Tiger, helps cover it up. And you can see it because it clipped the wall here on the bottom left. You can see it was a little bit ahead of it, which means you could, like, a little bit in front of it or out from it, and that means you could just run into it without triggering the ambush. You might be able to do that near here now as well. He's trying to edge past. Is he going to do that? No, he could not. So this is going to really hurt. 44. And I missed at 72%. Gonna see some Dark Souls coming in here and covering for the mutant most likely. With various ambushes of their own. Holpoker is really pressed here to get the kills and not dying though. We're just going to have to rely on a very shaky... Yeah, he didn't even have any time. That was such a useless delay. Just use the delay to take 16 more damage. I don't get it. Are the Dark Souls here close enough to be able to reinforce? Gonna go into another ambush, isn't he? No, he's not. Oh, wow. Imagine if it hit at 62%, 72% chance, he would have actually killed that guy. And here we see another one coming in. Oh, and he misses. That's unlucky. That's really unlucky for Holpoker. He needed that first kill to cement some sort of advantage here. Uses flee and it's a miss, so at least something turns out right for Holpoker. Gonna try and preserve this unit a little bit. He has good movement. And then another Dark Soul. Coming in, and we see Holpoker taking the lead. So that is something that he needed to do. Needs a few more kills though, there's only 9 morale. They look really menacing, these Bane-like Dark Souls. With the red belt buckle of Karond. It's going to be the Magister's turn now. First off, let's see what he will do. He will probably go down into protection and then use a delay to come in and do his attacks at a later stage. Oh, don't trigger the ambush. Don't trigger the ambush. That would be really foolish to do. Is he going to trigger the ambush? Okay, he's not. He's just occupying that spot. Alright. Must have been a very, very unfortunate ambush position for... Yeah, why did the ambush not trigger? He must have put him too close to the wall, so it's actually clipping the wall. Okay, what can Caterpillar do? It is unfortunate that he is using dual wield instead of two-handed, since he's doing less damage than Holpoker's mutant hero. Just gonna try and see if he can focus down a single Dark Soul here. That's all he actually needs. Managed as a hit. 80-80. See if he can hit another one. He's gonna need that to win. Having done 50 damage, he might still be able to take 2 more hits. Caterpillar is gonna be... He's very exposed here. It's gonna be critical for Abbadon to try and cover him up some way. Oh yeah, and if he loses Brimstone, that's gonna be even worse. So he needs to make sure that his heroes are going to be sort of covered, because that's Holpoker's only chance of winning this. So he needs to cover those units up, because those units are going to come gunning for him. Oh, being sneaky. Seeing what he can find here with his great movement. Might not be expected. Remember that there is a Magister around here. It could make a really good attack. Yeah, here he is. Here he is. So the mutant there as well, but he wants to go after... Oh, he needs to do a charge. Alright. You could actually kill him here. Oh, he does not. He does not. But he's gonna take a return attack from that. Since he used a delay. Oh, if Brimstone dies, he could recover the idol and do a lot of damage. And remember that the mutant is really close here for Hole Poker as well. So he's gonna get one attack. And if he goes through the dodge, he might actually have had his... this could be such a turnaround for Hole Poker. Yeah, that could have been game. Abbadon did a good risk assessment, I think. He was there. He was taking the chance, but this could cost him the game as well. This could cost him the game as well. That 10% critical hit chance is very dangerous. He wants to get in there with a mutant, and the other Dark Souls here, they're gonna focus fire on the Abbadon's mutant. So one attack, can he go through the dodge? It's gonna set him up nicely for the mutant. Let's see. Alright. So didn't take any damage there. That was lucky for Brimstone. He's gonna need that. Dodge is good against the Greatsword. See if he can manage to land a hit here on this Dark Soul. Oh, he cannot really kill him, and he misses the attack. Oh boy. What is Hole Poker going to do now? The mutant is going to come in on the Magister. Can he kill the Magister? That will be a massive blow. And that's going to be such a big turnaround for this game. Can he do it? Can he kill the Magister? And in the process return 60 morale. Why? Why use a delay? I don't get it. Manages a dodge here on the Caterpillar. But, you know, 2 charges coming in here. They might kill him off, the mutant. You can see how lucky he is here. You're gonna see some charges coming in. Okay, won't see a charge here, but he is going to be forced to make an all alone check. Let's see if he have a charge. He should be charged. He should charge both times. And he manages to land it. Alright. So killing off Caterpillar. That's really big. That means that Hole Poker only needs to kill 1 more unit. And if that's going to be the Magister, then Abbadon cannot actually make a route test. So the mutant coming in here, the mutant that used the delay, is going to be so important. What a turnaround! What a turnaround! This is actually pretty exciting. It's exactly like Ragnarok's first game here against Bobby Boyd Freed. He wants to go in here with 2 attacks. And look at this. This is the difference. Doing a lot more damage. 7% chance of a critical hit. And misses! But it's going to be the Magister of Hole Poker going first. So he gets 2 more attacks. And this might be game over. This might be game over for Abbadon here. Oh, that's so... And there we go. There we go. That's gonna be GG here. 3-0 to Hole Poker. And good lord, was that a close game. Hole Poker made a miscalculation, but it turned out alright in the end. Abbadon made an effort there trying to win the game outright. It didn't pay off this time. but it's gonna come back with a vengeance in the next game. Good game, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed watching this. And as always, we'll see more in the future of these two players. It's going to be really exciting to see what kind of mutations they have got at that point. Thank you for watching.